cheating wife divorced her husband for being poor, then invited him to her wedding. His arrival shocked everyone. You're pathetic, Michael. Complete failure who will never amount to anything. Those were the last words. Claire screamed before throwing divorce papers in her husband's face and walking out forever. What happened when she sent him a wedding invitation dripping with arrogance will make you question everything you think you know about love, marriage, betrayal, and family? Before we dive deeper into this story of betrayal and infidelity, have you ever been underestimated by someone who claimed to love you? How do you handle it? The rain hammered against the windows of their cramped downtown apartment like bullets from heaven. It drop echoing the chaos about to unfold. Inside, Michael sat hunched over his laptop at their rickety kitchen table, fingers dancing across keys that had seen better days. The screen glowed with numbers that would change everything. Contracts, projections, investment, figures that represented months of sleepless nights and relentless hustle. $50 million. The Harris Global Industries deal was finally complete. Michael's heart pounded as he stared at the confirmation email. This was it. This was their ticket out of this shoe box apartment with its peeling wallpaper and broken heating. No more ramen dinners or secondhand clothes. No more watching Claire's face fall every time she had to decline another invitation because they couldn't afford it. The front door slammed with the force of a thunderclap. Claire's heels clicked against the cracked linoleum like a countdown timer, each step more aggressive than the last. Michael quickly minimized the screen. He wanted this to be a surprise, a moment where he could finally be her hero again. Michael. Her voice cut through the apartment like a blade. No warmth, no greeting, just his name spoken like a curse. He turned around ready to share the news that would transform their lives. But the words died in his throat. Claire stood in the doorway, her designer knockoff coat dripping wet, mascara slightly smudged. But it wasn't the rain that had ruined her makeup. Her eyes held something he'd never seen before. Pure contempt mixed with what looked like liberation. We need to talk. She reached into her purse and pulled out a manila envelope, thick with legal documents. Michael's stomach dropped. Claire, what's don't? She raised her hand like she was stopping traffic. Just don't. I can't do this anymore, Michael. I can't pretend that this is enough, that you're enough. The envelope hit the table with a sound that seemed to shake the entire apartment. Michael stared at it, then at her, his mind struggling to process what was happening. This wasn't how tonight was supposed to go. This was supposed to be their celebration. I've wasted the best years of my life waiting for you to become someone, she continued, her voice growing stronger with each word. Waiting for you to provide for me the way a real man should. But you're not a real man, Michael. You're a dreamer, a failure. The deal confirmation sat minimized on his laptop, just one click away from proving her wrong about everything. Michael's hands trembled as he reached for the envelope. The legal letterhead screamed divorce papers before he even opened it. Claire paced behind him like a caged animal finally tasting freedom. His name is David Richardson, she announced, dropping the bomb with surgical precision. He's everything you're not. Successful, driven, rich. The words hit Michael like physical blows. She'd been cheating while he worked 18-hour days grinding toward their future. She'd been building one without him. How long? His voice came out as a whisper. 6 months. No shame, no apology. Just cold facts delivered like a weather report. He owns Richardson Holdings. You know that company you probably read about in business magazines while dreaming about being relevant. Michael knew Richardson Holdings. Everyone in the tech industry knew them. David Richardson was a shark in a $1,000 suit. The kind of man who measured success by the zeros in his bank account. The irony burned. Michael's deal would make him Richardson's biggest competitor within a year. He's asked me to marry him, Claire continued, her voice gaining momentum like a freight train. And I said, yes, because unlike you, he doesn't make promises he can't keep. He doesn't live in fantasy land. She moved to the window, staring out at the city lights that stretched endlessly into the distance. Look at this place, Michael. Look at us. 5 years of marriage and what do we have to show for it? A broken dishwasher, secondhand furniture, and empty dreams. Michael's laptop screen reflected his face. Hollow, devastated, broken. One click would reveal the Harris Global deal. One sentence would shatter her entire narrative. But something deeper than pride kept him silent. Maybe it was the need to know how far she'd sink. Maybe it was shock. David's taking me to Paris next week, she said, twisting the knife. First class, 5-star hotels. The kind of life I deserve. The life you promised but never delivered. The rain continued its relentless assault on the windows. Michael signed the papers without reading them. His signature a surrender to the inevitable. Claire snatched them up like a trophy. I'll be out by tomorrow, she said, already mentally gone. David sending movers. She paused at the door. Her final words, delivered with the precision of an executioner. Maybe this will motivate you to finally grow up to become the man you pretended to be when I married you. The door slammed. The apartment fell silent, except for the rain and Michael's ragged breathing. He sat alone in the ruins of his marriage, the biggest deal of his life, glowing on his laptop screen like a cruel joke. Within hours, Claire's social media exploded with photos of her new life. Designer dresses, expensive restaurants, diamond jewelry that caught the light like captured stars. She flaunted her upgrade with the subtlety of a victory parade. Michael closed the laptop. Tomorrow he would wake up as the secret CEO of a $50 million empire. Tonight he was just another broken man in a broken marriage, wondering if the price of silence was worth the weight of truth. The transformation had begun, though neither of them knew it yet. 1 year later, Michael's name blazed across Forbes magazine covers. Tech visionary transforms industry overnight, read the headline above his photo. Sharp suit, confident smile, eyes that held secrets. Worth $50 million. Harris Global Industries had exploded into the market like a nuclear bomb. The revolutionary software platform Michael had quietly developed disrupted every major tech company, including Richardson Holdings. Stock prices soared. Investment offers flooded in daily. Michael's net worth multiplied faster than financial reporters could calculate. His penthouse office overlooked the same downtown district where Claire had destroyed their marriage. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city like a conquered kingdom. The apartment where she'd called him a failure sat somewhere in the urban maze below, now just another forgotten landmark in his rear view mirror. Mr. Harris, the Wall Street Journal wants another interview, his assistant announced through the intercom, and Fortune magazine is requesting a cover story about your acquisition strategy. Michael barely looked up from the contracts spread across his mahogany desk. 3 more companies wanted buyouts. Richardson Holdings had sent desperate merger proposals twice this month. David Richardson himself had requested meetings. His once mighty empire now scrambling to compete with the dreamer his fiancée had discarded. The transformation wasn't just financial. Michael moved through exclusive circles with quiet confidence. Private jets replaced subway rides. Custom suits replaced thrift store finds. His calendar overflowed with charity galas, board meetings, and investment summits. Society pages featured his photo at events Claire could never have imagined attending. But he remained single, focused, driven by something deeper than revenge. The pure satisfaction of becoming exactly who he'd always known he could be. Then the invitation arrived. Cream-colored paper, gold embossing, Claire's name printed in elegant script. His secretary placed it on his desk like evidence in a criminal trial. The wedding invitation felt heavier than contracts worth millions. Claire Iyer Richardson cordially invites you to witness her marriage to David Richardson, the formal text announced. But tucked inside a handwritten note, dripped with familiar arrogance. No hard feelings, Michael. Come see what a real wedding looks like. Maybe you'll learn something about success. Claire. Michael studied the invitation for a full minute. Claire had no idea who she'd just challenged. Her social media showed a woman living in borrowed luxury, dependent on David's wealth like a parasite feeding on its host. She'd traded her independence for designer bags and five-star dinners, becoming exactly what she'd accused Michael of, being someone living off another person's success. The wedding was scheduled for Saturday at the Grand Metropolitan Cathedral. 1,000 guests expected. Society photographers confirmed. The Richardson Holdings Board of Directors attending Claire's moment to showcase her ultimate victory over the failure she'd left behind. Michael's lawyers had been quietly buying Richardson Holdings stock for months. By Saturday, he'd control 30% of David's company. The groom would be dancing at his own wedding while his business empire crumbled beneath Michael's strategic assault. He reached for his phone and dialed his head of security. Prepare the convoy for Saturday. Full detail. I have a wedding to attend. The Grand Metropolitan Cathedral buzzed with whispers as society's elite filled the ornate pews. Claire's wedding was the event of the season. 500 guests, Italian marble decorations, a chamber orchestra tuning their instruments. Photographers captured every diamond, every designer dress, every power player in attendance. David Richardson stood at the altar in his custom tuxedo, radiating the confidence of a man who'd won everything. His groomsmen flanked him like corporate warriors. The Richardson Holdings Board occupied the front rows, their presence a testament to the merger of love and money about to unfold. Claire waited in the bridal suite, her dress a masterpiece of silk and lace that cost more than most people's annual salary. She'd spent months planning this moment, her ultimate victory over the pathetic life she'd escaped. Today, everyone would see what real success looked like. Outside, a convoy of black SUVs pulled up to the cathedral's front steps. The first vehicle's doors opened with military precision. Two men in dark suits emerged, their movements sharp and professional. They scanned the crowd of onlookers, spoke into earpieces, then positioned themselves strategically. The second SUV disgorged more security personnel. Guests craned their necks, phones already recording. Celebrity, wedding, foreign diplomat. The speculation rippled through the gathered crowd like electricity. From the third vehicle, Michael Harris stepped onto the red carpet. The transformation was complete. Gone was the broken man from the cramped apartment. In his place stood a figure of absolute power. Italian leather, shoes, bespoke charcoal suit, platinum watch that caught the afternoon light. His presence commanded attention without demanding it. Conversations died. Camera flashes erupted. The crowd parted instinctively as Michael walked toward the cathedral entrance, his security detail moving like a choreographed performance around him. Inside the cathedral, word spread faster than wildfire. Someone important just arrived. Look at those bodyguards. Who brings that kind of security to a wedding? The wedding coordinator rushed to the altar, whispering urgently to David. The groom's confident smile flickered as he craned his neck toward the entrance. Something was happening, but he couldn't see what. Michael signed the guest's book with the same blank pen he'd used to close billion-dollar deals. His signature was steady, confident, final. The coordinator's eyes widened as she read the name, recognition dawning like sunrise. Ladies and gentlemen, the wedding MC announced, his voice carrying new reverence. Please welcome our distinguished guest, Mr. Michael Harris, Chief Executive Officer of Harris Global Industries. The cathedral fell silent. 500 heads turned in unison. The Richardson Holdings board members exchanged shocked glances. They knew that name, knew what it meant for their company's future. David's face drained of color. Harris Global Industries wasn't just another competitor. It was the empire, demolishing Richardson Holdings piece by piece. In the bridal suite, Claire's maid of honor burst through the door. Claire, you need to see this. Michael's here. But he's not what we expected. Claire's perfect wedding day was about to become something entirely different. Claire's world shattered the moment she saw him. Through the bridal suite window, she watched Michael command the cathedral courtyard like a king, surveying his kingdom. The broken man she'd abandoned had been replaced by someone unrecognizable, powerful, untouchable, radiating the Kind of success she'd spent a year chasing through David's wealth. Her hand shook as she gripped the windowsill. "This isn't possible," she whispered, watching guests approach Michael with the reverence reserved for royalty. Board members who controlled billions bowed slightly when greeting him. Photographers fought for angles. Society matrons whispered behind jeweled hands. The ceremony proceeded in stunned silence. David's vows trembled with newfound uncertainty. He kept glancing toward Michael's pew where the tech mogul sat with the calm confidence of a man holding all the cards. Every word of love and commitment felt hollow against the backdrop of impending corporate doom. Claire stumbled through her vows, her voice barely audible. The fairy tale wedding had become a nightmare of questions she couldn't answer. How long had Michael been successful? Why hadn't anyone told her? What did this mean for David's company? The reception transformed into Michael's unofficial coronation. Guests abandoned the newlyweds to network with the man who'd revolutionized the tech industry. Overnight, CEOs pitched partnerships over champagne. Investment bankers slipped business cards into his jacket pocket. The Richardson wedding had become the Harris Global Networking event. David watched his own reception slip away, helpless as his business contacts defected to the competition. His company's stock had plummeted 30% in the last month. Merger talks had stalled. The empire he'd used to steal Claire was crumbling beneath Michael's strategic assault. Claire found Michael on the reception hall balcony, overlooking the city they'd once struggled to conquer together. The lights stretched endlessly below, each one representing dreams she'd thought impossible from their old apartment. "Michael," her voice cracked with desperation, "I need to talk to you." He turned slowly, his expression unreadable. The man she called a failure now carried himself like someone who'd never doubted his worth. His success wasn't just financial, it was complete transformation inside and out. "I made a mistake," she whispered, tears destroying her perfect makeup. "I was wrong about everything about you, about us. Can we try again?" Michael studied her for a long moment, seeing not the woman he'd once loved, but someone who'd revealed her true character when tested. The girl who'd promised to stand by him had fled at the first sign of struggle, trading loyalty for luxury, love for a larger bank account. "I did love you once, Claire." His voice held no anger, no bitterness, just finality. "But I love my peace more." He walked past her without another glance, leaving her alone on the balcony as guests swarmed around him in the reception hall. The woman who'd thrown away a future billionaire for a man whose empire was now collapsing had finally learned the true cost of her choices. Michael disappeared into the night, surrounded by admirers who understood what Claire never could. That real success isn't given, it's earned. Fewer. Michael, will you give her a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and true to life stories.